Hey guys, welcome back. So lately I have been in this terrible reading slump. I haven't read anything really for almost like a month. It's been pretty crappy. And I figured, why not just make myself feel worse and talk about 10 books that I feel like I probably should have had read by now. First things first, reading slumps are natural. It's okay. I am not saying that anyone out there who is experiencing a reading slump or hasn't read in a while, or anyone out there who hasn't read these books particularly is bad or somehow wrong or behind. These are just some books that I feel like either in my childhood most people read and I didn't, and so I feel like I should have come across them as a kid, but I just didn't really get into them. I didn't read them. Or they're things that I've told myself pretty recently that I would get to and read, and I just haven't. If you guys have not read some of these books, I'm not attacking you. I am simply being self-deprecating. So first up, we've got actually a few different books in kind of a collection, and that is books 3 to 7 in the Narnia series by C.S. Lewis. I have read The Magician's Nephew, and I've read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Don't know why I haven't gotten around to it yet, but someday I will read all 7 stories in this book. The next book that I need to read really is just any book by Victoria Schwab. I have read The Archived and I've read the Monsters of Verity duology, and that is it. And I loved those books. I mean, The Archived, not as much as the Monsters of Verity duology, but still, I loved those books, and I love Victoria Schwab's writing. And I don't know why I haven't lit a fire under my own butt and gotten myself around to picking up another one of her books, especially since I have this box set right here, and I'm supposed to buddy read the first book in this series with my friend, and I still haven't picked it up. But something else by Victoria Schwab I would really like to get to soon. The third book that I would like to read soon, and somehow haven't read yet, is Harry Potter. Because I have them. I have a box set of them. So I gotta get around to just doing it. I feel like this is going to be like a Christmas time thing. Does Harry Potter feel very Christmas to you? It feels very Christmas to me. My brother read all the books as soon as they came out. I just didn't. I feel like it's a Christmas thing. Next up, we've got a book that I actually got like 75% of the way through a few years ago. And then I found it at a used bookstore and I bought it. And I still to this day have not read the last 25% of the pages, and I feel like I have to start all over again now, and that is Little Princes by Conor Grennan. I've talked about this before. It is kind of like a travel memoir type thing where Conor Grennan, the author, is talking about his time that he spent working at an orphanage in Nepal. And it is just a beautiful, beautiful story, or at least the 75% of it that I read was beautiful. I should really finish this story because it was great. So yeah, true story, highly recommend it from what I have read, but I have to finish it. Next up, we've got a book that I talked about quite a bit in some of my earlier videos, and I've kind of just stopped talking about it because I don't want people to realize I haven't read it yet. And that's Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. When I read this synopsis, I almost cried. I really want to read this book. And for some reason, I just haven't yet. I think it's one of those instances where I've built up the experience in my head and I'm like, oh, it's going to be amazing, that I'm afraid to pick it up now, because I'm like, but what if it's not amazing? So I think I'm a little bit freaked out about it right now, but regardless, it is a book I still want to get to. It's still on my shelf. It's still on my TBR list in my head, but I just haven't done it yet. The next book, I actually don't have a physical copy with me. I did have a physical copy from the library a few weeks ago when my reading slump started. I'm talking about The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I took Instagram pictures and posted them about this book. And then it was due back to the library with no more renewals. It's been almost a month now since I've returned that book. I think I was just intimidated and maybe a little bit overhyped for it. But I still want to read it someday. Another book that I feel like I should have read by now, or more people around me should have been talking about at least when I was younger or something, is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. Percy Jackson is completely new to me, guys, and I really want to read it. I just didn't hear a lot about it in my everyday life, and I didn't know anyone growing up who read these books. There seems to be a bit of a theme here with middle grade, children's, young adult book series that I just haven't read. Despite the fact that Horseradish by Lemony Snicket is one of my favorite books of all time, and I discovered it in around 8th grade. I have never read The Series of Unfortunate Events. I am trying to find all the books in hardcover from different used bookstores in my area, and so far I've only found number 1 and number 9, and I'm telling myself that once I have all of them, I believe there's 13, once I have all of them, I will start reading this series. Alright, I think we are down to the last 2 books that I feel like I should have read by now, so let's just get into it. Another book that I feel like I should have read by now is a book that I actually got for Christmas last year, and it's a book that I'm very excited to read. It's a book that a lot of my friends have told me is a great book, and I just haven't picked it up yet, and that is Sapience by Yuval Noah Harari. I really hope I didn't just butcher that. I have heard so many good things about this book. It is a non-fiction book. It talks all about the history of humankind. That seems like it's right up my alley. I love history. I love non-fiction. I love all that stuff. And I just haven't picked it up. I think, again, it's a book that's been so hyped, I'm afraid I'm not going to like it, even though I'm so excited for it. Maybe my goal with this one will be to read it before the 1-year anniversary of owning it. So I've got until Christmas of 2019 to read this book. Last book on the list is a book I've mentioned before. It is a book that has a very popular TV series out now that I would really like to watch. It's also by a very popular author who I would really like to read. And it's also a book that a lot of people read in high school, and I somehow didn't. And that is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I feel like most people have heard about The Handmaid's Tale, either from the TV series or from the book, or books. Is it a series of books? I'm not entirely sure. Either way, I want to read before watching. Did you guys read this in high school? So guys, those are the 10 books that I feel like I probably should have read by now. Do you think there are any books on this list that I just kind of like shouldn't bother with? Do you think there are any books here that I should get to before any of the other books on this list? Let me know which of these you guys have read down in the comments below. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to like and subscribe for future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye guys.